It's coffee time. Okay. I love a good cup of coffee. A mighty fine cup of coffee. Yes, sir, Bob. Okay, let's see here. What? Well, what the hell? What? Oh no, this isn't gonna work. What am I gonna do now? I can't do this. This isn't enough sweetener. So I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna have to try something else. I don't know what. I'm just gonna... What? What was that?
Is somebody here?
Who are you?
I'm the Equalizer.
Oh,
And I brought you your equal.
oh, thank God!
That was so splendid of you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
And we are back.
We have returned.
After a hiatus.
After
episode 86.
A hiatus.
Yes.
It's noticeably because of Mr. Pickhart's anal.
There was no anal issues. There was stomach
exits.
issues.
Well, there were stomach issues affecting the anal issue.
Not really.
The exiting world.
The exiting world was in good shape.
Well, I suppose
it was the intake of food that was interrupted.
Well, actually, the exiting world was barely being used.
Well, yeah, because there's nothing, to be produced.
But anyway, this is we've been off for 3 weeks, ladies and gentlemen.
No, 2 weeks.
No, 3 weeks. It was 3 weeks ago we were here last.
Oh, okay, yeah. But we missed
we were on the 3rd.
Right before the 4th of July we were on. Yeah.
This is the 24th.
I know, crazy. The whole month almost.
Dude, it's
and
like
incredible. And then last week there was Comic-Con. BeTerrific was at Comic-Con.
That was not our particular fault.
That wasn't our thing.
But you were not well.
I wasn't 100%.
No.
You know.
Are you 100% today?
I'm pretty good.
I think you're about 85% today.
No, I'm about 95 today.
But you had the runs this morning once again.
That's because I ate too much fiber.
Yeah, but
four bowls of light cereal is a bad thing to do when you're getting over chronic, when you're getting over an acute case of gastritis.
I'm so shocked that you.
Well, I didn't think of it because I had two bowls for breakfast yesterday. No worries all day long. I got home last night from the city about 11 o'clock. I was a little hungry. I had 2 more bowls of light cereal. I didn't know it was going to cause any issues in my stomach.
Who would have done?
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
I have an iron stomach up until my birthday.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
But I'm finally on the mend, and I'm going
Ladies
up.
and gentlemen's 40th birthday.
My 40th birthday,
There you
yes.
were. No, I'm not trying to shake your hand, but I will.
Why don't you?
No, I'm not going.
How dare you?
No.
You don't leave me hanging.
All right,
you son of a bitch.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
All right.
But anyway, it's good to be back.
Yeah, it was. It was 20 years ago today.
I've been missing it, actually.
Sergeant Pepper told the band to play.
Yes.
No, it was actually about 3 weeks ago, this past Saturday, that you became violently ill.
No, 2 weeks ago.
No, it was 3 weeks ago.
It was the 7th I got sick. This Saturday would be 3 weeks.
That's true. You're correct. So it was 2.5 weeks ago.
So basically what happened was on my 40th birthday, my wife and I went to the movies. We went to see Ant-Man in the afternoon.
You ate a whole bucket of popcorn.
I ate 3/4 of a large buttered
big
popcorn.
giant bucket.
And then when we came out of the theater, I felt like I was hungry. So what did I do?
You went and
I
ate
got
a
a meatball
sandwich.
A small meatball parm sandwich from Quick Check.
How disgusting is that?
And then I had a nice coffee. It was the perfect storm of bad food for my stomach. So then I just started getting an incredible amount of stomach pain, a lot of movement, a lot of acid, and it felt like there were fireworks in my gut. And this got worse and worse as the evening progressed. 3:30 in the morning, I went to the emergency room, got treatment. 2 days later, went to a GI doctor, and then my primary doctor.
You were sick for quite a while.
For about a week, I could barely eat.
Solid week.
I didn't eat for 2 days, and I just had the worst pain I've ever encountered. I couldn't sleep for like 4 nights.
Horrible.
It was a terrible situation.
No, it really is.
And it was an acute case of gastritis, which all that really is inflammation of the stomach lining. And I don't recommend it to anybody. It's very painful. It's very unpleasant.
Yeah, it sounds
But that
very
was the only
unpleasant.
symptom, just bad stomach discomfort. And it was really shitty.
It was a, yeah, it was a real,
luckily I didn't have any other symptoms, no fever, no vomiting.
It was a really
none of those
shitty
things.
experience.
But it was terrible. It was a wake-up call that, you know what, your body ages, even though I've had an iron stomach.
It was on your birthday. You're getting older now.
I am.
You know.
I've now traversed the first step of middle age, and we'll see what happens.
Here I am 3 times your age.
Yes.
And my stomach is seemingly fine.
Yeah, but you've
well,
had.
That's not true. I have had some issues.
You've had stuff where you're dying on camera with us.
No, I have had some issues.
You were like, oh my God, I'm going to die tonight.
But as the trooper that I am, I storm forward and I plow forth.
I appreciate that.
Because that's what we heroes do.
Yes, thank you.
We plow forth and we go forward into the night, and we make sure
that
the show.
We applaud your Constitution.
The show must go on. Thank you, Freddie Mercury, for those illustrious
And speaking of the show going on, why don't we begin the show?
We should begin the
We have a really packed show for us this evening.
Now it is time, begin the begin.
Thank you for your ceremonial song.
You're very welcome, sir. A little Cole Porter, 1936 for you.
Exactly. So we're going to begin with
We shall begin.
You want to say the title?
What is the title?
The Equalizer, Part 2.
The Equalizer? Okay. Yes. Hopefully you were able to see our beloved
there it is, Mr. Denzel himself.
We did have a little thing this week. We did a little skit. I hope you saw it at the beginning of the show.
It was a nice skit.
Maybe they'll show it again perhaps later in the show.
Perhaps they could.
If we tell them to.
We could, but it's going to...
We could, but who knows?
They can show it later if they'd like.
They could show it later. But there he is, Denzel. Yes. I saw this film
This is his first sequel.
I realize that.
I just got out of the film at 6 o'clock.
I know.
Yeah.
Big freaking deal. First sequel. Who cares?
No,
you know,
but a lot of actors have sequels. It's new to him, you know.
Did you like this film?
Honestly, I think I liked it as much as I liked the first.
Okay.
I thought it was on par. I felt it was a little slow. They could have probably chopped easily 20 minutes. There's a whole subplot with him looking after as a father figure that is like young neighbor kid who's an artist.
Yeah, but that was kind of essential towards the end.
It was, but I still,
in a hostage situation.
Yeah, but I feel like it wasn't 100% necessary to the story. But I understand why it was there.
No, I thought it was good.
But it was a little slow.
I liked it. I liked it a little bit.
But,
it gave it a human touch. It gave it a little kind of a Black Panther-esque, you know, father to son almost. Not that they're related, but there's the elder speaking the younger.
We understand why it's there. It worked.
The morals and fibers, not to go into your stomach
exactly,
issue, but the moral and fiber of the world. And Denzel does that to this young lad. But you just saw moments ago.
But overall, it's a very effective film. I was very engrossed in it. I liked it a lot. It was fun.
Anton Fuqua.
Yes.
You know, I think he's a fine director.
He's very
this
good.
has got to be his 35th film with Denzel.
No, it's only his. I know, but maybe it's the third.
Third?
Training Day, the first Equalizer, and this one.
No, he did another one too.
With Denzel?
I think he did the one with the guy with the lawyer, the IQ lawyer guy. I think he directed that too.
No, that was not Antoine Fuqua. No, that was. That was Tony Gilroy who did Nightcrawler.
I think he did do another one, though. I'm almost sure he did.
I'm pretty sure he did. I'll look right now.
Check it out.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. That's him right there. That's the director. That's Antoine Fuqua.
That is Antoine Fuqua.
But it's a very good action film. Denzel, as always, is very good.
No, he's good.
He does a great job.
You know, I do like his little mini karate knife stabbing.
Yeah.
It's ultra violent. That's one thing I do love about it.
Yeah. You are correct. I stand corrected.
Yeah,
he also did Magnificent Seven, which I forgot about.
There you go.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
I bet he did one more too.
Let's look now.
I bet he did another one.
I'm looking.
I have a feeling, indeed. There was another Denzel movie in there somewhere. But anyway, regardless, this is it's a 3-star film. I can't really go much higher than that. You get what you know you're going to get.
Just those 4.
Okay. Denzel is phenomenal, though.
Yeah.
You know, he is one of our best actors.
I agree.
He carries this film. He's watchable in every scene. He knows how to act in front of a movie camera.
He does.
He's so subtle with his little nuances, with his little movements and facial expressions. He just knows what to do.
He's very natural.
Him and Antoine Fuqua are apparently Fuqua.
Yes.
They are very close. You can tell
they've developed a shorthand, probably.
I was a little disappointed. There's 2 men on the screen right here.
Pablo Pascal, who plays one of the other characters in the film. He was in Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Season 4, I think. He played the Spanish guy.
Oh, right.
Who unfortunately has a pretty bad death on the show.
Oh, well, there you go.
But he's good too. He was in Narcos as well. That show on Netflix.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You know, of all the things that happened, you know, I knew right away that
it was a predictable film.
It was very predictable. I knew where it was going to go.
Too.
I knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
I was expecting better deaths at the end. because he had said to
there
these
were a couple
guys,
good ones though.
Yeah,
the harpoon, that was a good one.
That was good, but you know, he said, "I'm going to kill each one of
I know,
you,
yeah.
and I'm going to enjoy it."
Yeah.
I was really hoping for some slow, torturous
I know.
deaths.
I was hoping for that.
You know,
too.
because we like to grit our teeth.
There was that
in it.
one guy gets blown in half. He's got a hole in his stomach
Well,
about this big. That was kind of cool.
What was that about? So
that was shrapnel when he blew up the one.
Well, yeah, but he threw in a thing, and it ignited all the flour. That it was like the flour that Denzel cut in the bakery.
He was using the flour with the fans to cloud the room. Like
I understand.
And then no, what blew up was that was like a grenade. It wasn't a grenade, but it was like an explosive.
No,
that
he
rolled
threw it in. But something that Denzel did in that room, maybe the flour was flammable.
I don't know. I'd have to watch it again.
The guy threw it in, but then when he walks in, there's another explosion.
Yeah, I thought that thing was like a charge, and he threw it in and it blew up. I think
the guy threw it in.
I thought Denzel threw that in. Unless Denzel shot it and it blew up. I don't remember. There's a lot going on in that scene.
Maybe so.
But anyway, the guy got almost blown in half. That was a cool death.
Well. I'm trying to see which image of myself is actually taking place. There's this image down here. Then that's on a
well, yeah, we're on a 2-shot right now.
We're on a 2-shot. There you go.
Yeah.
So anyway, a great movie.
Yeah, it's good.
I loved it. It was great fun.
Very fun.
One of the things about these Equalizer films, and many films just like this, is that they kind of fade into your memory bank and then just appear as sludge as you go on in this world. And you know, movies are just a movement through passage and time. And this is what they do before our eyes. We simply store them up here, and we remember them, and Chris and I do remember them more than most humanoids. You know? But there's the original Equalizer poster right there.
I think he looks much better with hair. I didn't like how he looked with the bald head in the first one.
Yeah, I agree.
Doesn't. He's you know, not everybody can pull off a bald head, and I thought for him it was like,
you know,
that didn't look bad, but I just feel like it looks more natural now with the hair.
He's not Telly Savalas, that's true.
No, he's not.
But, or Yul Brynner, for that matter. Speaking of Magnificent Seven.
You're right. You're right.
But what was I saying? I don't recall.
You know who I liked showing up in this film was Bill Pullman. I always liked Bill Pullman.
I like Bill Pullman too.
I love Bill Pullman.
And he just shows up out of the blue. I was very sad about Melissa Leo.
Yeah, her character.
She was very predominant in the first film.
Yes.
She was his.
Prominent,
she was his M,
so
to speak, as is in the James Bond films.
There she is, right there.
There she is.
She's always good too. I like her a lot.
I love Melissa Leo. This woman,
fantastic.
Everything she does is almost an Academy Award caliber performance.
I know.
Everything she does.
It's surprised she only has one Oscar.
I know, it's really true. What did she win it for?
The Fighter. She was excellent in that film.
She was great.
That was a great freaking movie. I love that movie.
Freaking movie,
loved it. That was Christian Bale won for that one. That was a great one.
Christian Bale was great. I totally agree. It was a wonderful, wonderful little
Todd
film.
Phillips.
There's no question about it. So my hair, what do you think? Do I look like John Goddard? No, I look like I don't know who. I don't know
who you look
the
like.
hair. You know, there's a different style for me.
I have a compliment for you, by the way.
You used to go down.
My good friend Steve, who you know well.
I do know Steve.
When he saw the little bit from this week, he said, wow, Daryl trimmed his mustache. He looks 10 years younger.
I did trim the stash.
Yeah, and he was like, wow, he was really impressed how young he looked.
Gosh darn. So, well, Steve.
So you're very critical of yourself, and you look good, so don't worry about it.
All right. Well, I thank you very much, Steve, for that incredible compliment.
Yeah, he was happy to say it.
I didn't shave it so
much.
I trimmed it.
Yeah.
I trimmed it, yeah. It's not so much there. But it's
I've only seen you without it one time.
It's still there, but not so much, you know.
Yeah.
All right, so let us move on to our next film.
Yeah,
we both did like
we both
the
enjoyed,
Equalizer.
both recommend Equalizer
Part 2. It does kind of go
two.
into that action-packed sludge, that memory swamp that we all have in our brains.
I like the subplot too with the old man. That was nice.
Hey, you know that the one
they could have done without it, but I still liked it.
Very famous man, Orson Bean.
Yes,
Orson used to be on a lot of like the Match Game.
Yeah.
He used to be on a lot of the shows, a lot of shows back in the '60s and so forth, game shows, etc. What's My Line?
Was he a game show host or just a panelist?
He was just a panelist.
Okay,
but very prominent.
Cool.
And I don't think he ever acted really. He's never really done anything.
So he's more just a personality.
Just a personality, but very famous and very funny, very witty, comical, etc.
Cool.
I've always related to him, and of course he's always related to me.
Of course, yes.
But I was a little. There's an ending that they kind of tack on with him that
predictable as well.
Sammy, I don't know that.
Okay.
At that point, I had to go to the latrine.
I had to go for like an hour.
Intensely.
Yeah, me too.
My bladder, was beginning to explode.
Yes.
More or less. So I was very anxious to get out of the theater. And then, of course, and I thought it was about to end when the kid is on the bus with the girl, and he's showing her his etching, so to speak. I thought, okay, it's over now.
Nope, not yet.
Thank God I can go pee, but no dice.
Yeah.
All right,
but we'll move on. Recommend that one very highly. We're going to now go to Dwayne Johnson in Skyscraper.
Well-made film.
Very
The
well
Equalizer.
made.
You just feel the quality brimming through it all. The acting, the shots, everything about it. It's a class act.
I agree 100%.
Class act.
I really liked it a lot.
Skyscraper.
Skyscraper. Dwayne Johnson, his action film. It's his Die Hard.
It is.
You've seen the trailer. He's a guy who's a consultant who's going to check to make sure this new revolutionary building over in China is up to par in terms of security. And so he's there.
And he's got a specific insight into the building
he used to work, he used to work for the FBI, and now he's a security consultant. So him and his family are living there to kind of test the place out. Nev Campbell plays his wife. He's got 2 young children.
So good to see Nev Campbell back again.
It was very good to see her.
Doesn't look a day older when she did those Scream films back in the 90s. Yes. And I thought she was terrific.
I agree. She's excellent.
I loved her. The last film I saw her in was, oh gosh, she wasn't in that, no, that was Selma Blair. I'm thinking of that John Waters film. It's a Dirty Shame.
Oh, that one.
No, that wasn't her. That was Selma Blair.
Well, she was recently in House of Cards for about 2 seasons, so she had a pretty substantial role.
I know she moved to London, and she's been in London for the last 10 years or so.
Okay.
And she had
Raising
her baby
family and all that
with her
stuff.
husband and kid and so forth. But I thought she was great.
She was good in this.
Kicks a little ass in this movie.
She does. I was surprised to see that. That was cool.
I think her next step is to be in a Tom Cruise film now.
Could be.
His next girlfriend.
You're right.
You know, who kicks ass and,
could be.
so forth and so on. This chick was pretty good.
She was good, too. She was the villainess, one of the bad people. You've seen the trailer. These people take over the building, and they have an agenda. And the guy that created the building, the architect, is a super rich tech guy.
Right.
Who was very good. I actually liked his character quite a bit.
Yeah.
And his name was Chin Han. That's the actor's name.
Chin Han.
Chin Han.
Oh, Chin Han.
Yeah, not Han Solo. Chin Han. That's him right there.
Was his Wang Hong Lo?
I don't know.
Wang Hong Lo.
For a sec, I hope so.
Hard to say.
But you know what? This film is implausible. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's a guilty pleasure. I enjoyed it.
Oh, did you?
I really enjoyed this film.
Oh, I have to say,
it's a complete guilty pleasure for me.
Oh, I didn't love this film.
No, I didn't love it, but I enjoyed it.
No, I didn't even enjoy it really. I felt it was predictable from the moment.
Of course it is. That's what these movies are.
Oh God, but it was so absurd. He's leaping from.
Well, that was crazy. He jumps from the
crane. This crane onto the building. He's hanging on. It's Tomb Raider Part 4. There's the scene right there.
I did like that sequence.
I just didn't love this movie. I thought it was so predictable.
It was, but it was so
everything
much fun.
about it.
I enjoyed it.
Well, the movie is bombed in the box office. It did very well in China. Its opening weekend.
Of course,
it was about 71 mil.
Yeah.
But here in the States, it did
very
badly.
Everybody's getting a little rock fatigue.
No, I don't think so. Because Rampage was Jumanji, Rampage, back-to-back films. I mean, he comes out in big hits.
And he's got another one coming out soon too.
I think people like him in more of the animal zone, in that Neanderthal sense where he's with the animals.
You know what it is? Maybe what hurt this movie is they saw that scene of him jumping from the crane to the building and said, "This looks ridiculous. I'm not going to see it." That might have hurt the film. Actually, they could have just said, "This looks ridiculous. This looks stupid."
Not only that, let me say this about this film. You just felt the green screen.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Oh, of course.
Every single place.
Yeah, like right there. That's a green screen right there.
Of course. Of course. Well, it looks like our screen right back here, ladies and gentlemen.
Hang on, let me try.
There you go. Did you just cut one?
No, that was my hip popping.
Oh, I thought I heard
No, it was my hip pop.
I heard a little.
My hip pops all the time.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it feels great.
Kidding.
I love it.
Really?
Oh, yeah, it's awesome. It's a great feeling.
Okay.
Crickety crack.
Well, keep that to yourself.
It's great.
But I found this film so predictable, so green
screen-esque. There's the big building right there.
I just didn't think there was anything real about it. I felt that this is total fabrication. This is total. They didn't even delve into characters so much here. We just did a kind of a surface film. It was just all on the screen. There was no depth. I felt no depth of him. Oh, I love my kids, my family, reeking of that Vin Diesel, my family, my familia kind of nonsense. I thought there was almost a little bit of a parallel. My family, I'm going to leap from building. I'll kill myself to save my family.
Yeah, but that's every movie like this. They all do that.
I'll kill the patient to cure the disease,
exactly.
as many doctors have said. But so I gotta say I didn't care for this film.
Okay.
I didn't care for his cute little kids. I didn't care for anything about this movie.
Okay.
I just thought it was just a kind of a bit of a waste. But I did go into the film. I must say this. I went into it. I did have a bit of a preconceived you know, just the thought process going on because of the commercials and so forth. So I was prepared to go either way.
Yeah.
I was prepared to like it a lot or not like it.
Okay.
And I found myself just you know, there are the guys with the machine guns running after them. There's the, you know, and they give us a very ambiguous thing with the Chinese man who owns the building.
Yes.
They kind of painted him as a bad guy right from the start.
Well, because they're misdirecting you. That's what they like to do.
Well, I know, but that was, you know, don't do that.
I know.
You know, we have, it ruins the bad guy effect.
Yeah.
This is a good guy, bad guy film.
There's our bad guy right there.
It's very important to have the bad guy be a bad guy and him be the main bad guy. But no, this is a good versus, this is white versus black. This is, and I don't mean that I just mean it's the good guy versus the bad guy.
It's a black and white concept. I know what you're saying.
But when we go into, when we have kind of an extraneous, ambiguous bad guy, such as the owner of the building, you almost get the feeling that he's sabotaging his own building, maybe for the insurance money or whatever it is.
I thought that too for a moment in the
I
film,
didn't like that. They ruined the direction that the film should have gone into, a straight hardcore revenge kind of movie where, well, give me my kids back, and they could have taken a nice bit of clue from The Equalizer and just really made a solid action empathetic film where characters are developed properly. This film was too sugar-coated.
It's fairly one-dimensional. It's fairly predictable.
It was
kind of
all about
ridiculous. It's all green screen.
It was all about the building.
In consideration, I still had a good time watching it.
And then, of course,
I still enjoyed it.
The button goes off. The whole building is down.
I know. It's all ridiculous, but I still enjoyed it.
It truly was silliness. So
I was able to leave all that at the door and just enjoy it.
God bless you,
So I recommend it. It's a fun movie. It's by no means amazing.
I don't recommend it.
But I thought it was a lot of fun.
If you are going to see it, you should see it on the big screen.
It is a big screen film.
It is a big screen film.
It really is.
Just the epic landscapes of, you know, this city. Where did this take place? Thailand?
No. This was in China. It's in China.
It was in China, Shanghai, whatever. Okay.
I think it was Hong Kong.
Oh, it was Hong Kong. You are correct, sir. Just had a feeling of total superficiality. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so split vote on that one.
I'm going to give it I'm going to say people do not wait. Do not go see this. Wait till it's on HBO in literally about 2-3 months, and it will be on HBO.
Watch it on your big screen TV.
Because a lot of the Rock films go right to HBO.
They do,
I think they produce a lot of his stuff.
Well, no, not necessarily. They probably just get in there with the licensing agreement. I don't think they produce it.
Anyway.
Anyway, let's move on. Ant-Man and the Wasp, the big sequel, the newest Marvel film.
I'd rather go right from these kind of films that we've done. I think we should go into The Purge next, and then do Ant-Man, because we're on a roll here with
All right,
the Equalizer.
So we're going to skip Ant-Man for the moment, and we're going to go to the first Purge.
Well, is that going to ruin our beloved people?
No, they can keep up.
Can they keep up?
Yeah, they can keep up.
Are
first
you sure?
Purge. Here we go, first Purge.
I don't know.
They're caught up.
There they go. You know, we hire the handicapped here, but I want to give them a brief round of applause.
Appreciate that.
Thank you, guys.
So the first Purge is a prequel to the other 3 Purge films.
My God, I loved this film.
I really enjoyed it too.
I love this
liked
movie.
It a lot
this
too.
movie was brutal.
It was hardcore.
It was savage.
Very serious.
It was hard. Element.
It really was.
You know, this made the other Purge films look like walks in the park.
This is probably the most close to horror of all of them so far.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Especially because of that creepy guy with the weird shit on his face. That guy was horrifying.
That guy. Well, he was Diamond.
I forget his name, but
or whatever his name was.
The actor's name was Rotimi Paul.
He
really
was
creepy.
Outrageous. I agree, and he was terrorizing right from the start.
He was horrifying.
The thing about this film, though, the thing that the real reason to watch this film. We live in a society, under an administration right now, heralded by Mr. Donald Trump. He has divided this country in half. He has. He's taken our black friends, he's taken the Ku Klux Klan, and he's kind of, and I say white supremacists, but he's pitted us all, we've all been almost forced to take sides within this administration. Are we going to be for Donald's amazing bigotry? Or are we going to kind of fight it and try and keep our own sense of sanity?
And at the same time, the media has a lot to do with it. They're not blameless either. The media plays it up for ratings.
It depends.
They love it.
I think Fox News, for example, they're always playing up the Ku Klux Klan, they're not such bad guys.
Well, they're defending.
They're just defending Trump.
They're the right's corner.
No, I don't even want to talk about the media. I'm talking about the world that we live right now.
No, I agree. No, but you can't talk about that without talking about how guilty the media is of exploiting everything too for ratings.
Well,
they've been doing this for generations. That's what they do.
When you see the news and you see somebody drive into a crowd, to murder people in a car, to kill those people. There are people going into churches and mowing down 50, 60 black people that are in that church. I mean, this is a new wave of kind of a racial violence that we have seen in this country now since this administration. I mean, we've always had racial violence between cops and black folk. There's no question about it.
That's not new.
But this film, I think, really captures the real element of our world right now that we live.
It's a very timely film.
I found this
film,
100%. I found it frightening, and yet it for me, it hit very close to home, because I feel that this could be where we're headed. Not now, and maybe not in 4 or 5 years, but maybe in 10 years, if we kept up with a Donald Trumpian kind of administration, that kind of mode of thinking kept continuing as it has for even the last 18 months. It's mind-blowing how much damage this guy's done in a short amount of time.
He's throwing a Molotov cocktail into this country.
Exactly. He's created monsters to the left and not so much monsters on the right. I'm going to say the average thinking, moralistic guy on one side, and then there's the bigot, there's the killer, the guy with the gun that just wants to murder everybody.
You mean it in reverse, because you meant the right.
Well, no, I'm not saying. Because you said I'm not referring to the left or the right in political terminology.
Oh, you're talking about one side.
I'm just saying one side is this, and the other side is we have the regular. You know, we have the good guys and the bad guys.
And then you have everybody in the middle, which is most of the country's in the middle. You have the extremes on both sides, and the average person identifies with the middle of the road.
You have one-third of the country that is specifically to the right side, which is the Donald Trump side. But this film, for me, I captured that. It really felt it hit too close to home.
But I don't think we're ever going to get to a point where we have a legalized purge. But the division is what you're talking. We could get to a division where there's violence happening regardless, but we're never going to have a sanctioned thing like this. God forbid.
No, I agree. But
I know what you're saying with the divisiveness.
No, just the element of what took place on the screen. That to me was frightening.
Yeah.
It was frightening and a little too real. The government sending in militant groups to murder, resident in slum areas.
Yeah, and that was in the other Purge films too. The same thing. That was in all of them.
Well, true, but frightening. A frightening thought, you know.
It's a terrifying glimpse into worst case scenario where any country could go.
There is a futuristic edge to that whole thing.
Yeah, no, it's horrible.
To me, it captured just that morality
and
lack of it that we have now existing in our country.
And then, even to take away take away the sanctioned violence against this kind of thing. But in this movie, it talks about this exploitation of the poor, the marginalization of the poor, which our government has been doing for decades. This country is an oligarchy run by the rich, by the corporate interests, by the banking interests, and everybody else is just, fodder. They don't care about the poor. There's a war on poverty. They're criminalizing homelessness.
We're all popcorn.
It's crazy.
We're all popcorn in the stomach of Chris Pickhardt.
We are, exactly.
We're all popcorn that is trying to get out. Trying to get out, and it can't.
Yeah, I know.
It's jammed up there in the upper intestine.
Pretty much.
And it's created this perfect storm, this explosion within this entire stomach region that just created 3 weeks of misery for this poor lad right now.
Only about a week and a half.
Well, yeah.
At most.
Today you had the
but today
return.
But this had nothing. This different. This today had nothing to do with that.
Today we had the return to Waterloo.
Yes, exactly.
We went back.
Today was. I didn't have any pain. There's no pain. Yeah. But anyway, I recommend the first Purge quite a bit.
Absolutely. The only real star we have in this film is
Marissa Tomei.
Marissa Tomei.
She's the only name, really.
But everybody is wonderful.
Everybody's excellent.
Everybody is good.
They're very good.
Everybody is good. We just have. There's a young girl and her brother right there.
She's very good. Her
excellent.
name is Lex Scott Davis. She was very good.
Excellent. Everybody was great.
I think this is, to me, probably the third best of the Purge films.
Third best?
The third best out of the four. My favorite is part 2. Then I would say the original part 1 is number 2. I'd say this is 3. The weakest is the third Purge, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying, but
this one is excellent. It's a very good film.
To me, this was the most relevant.
Yeah.
This was the most relevant of all of them. They're all bullshit. They're all just, it's all just, it's a great idea. Yeah. Okay, for 12 hours we get to murder each other.
Exactly.
But this took it to the next level. This took it into the news. This took it into a world that just literally, it got me. It got me. It got me going, oh man. I could see this happening, and that to me is horrifying.
Yeah.
So I love the film. It You know, when I did go see it,
and this is every day in Chicago, by the way. This kind of violence.
I did go see. Well, this is every day in L.A. There are
Camden, all these bad areas.
Exactly.
Detroit.
You know, we have bad areas all over this country, but you know, mostly those are gangs up against other gangs.
They're killing each other. I agree.
You know, but we're not sending in you know, white militant groups to mow these guys down.
No.
And that does happen in this film, and I'll tell you, it got me. It was very
It's a
well
very
done.
effective film.
It felt like a documentary.
And it moves quick, too. It's not slow. It's a really good film.
37-minute flies by. Felt like a documentary to me of a current state of affairs.
And I always have to laugh when I watch all these crazy masks and outfits that these bad people are wearing. It's just kind of humorous because, like, wow, they really took it far. This particular person in this film went out and he made himself a pig mask. Or you got the militants, the military militants dressed almost like Nazis with that leather jacket, and they got the band. They're wearing the mask.
There was a film back in 1978, 79. It was called The Warriors.
Yes,
I don't know if you remember The Warriors.
David Patrick Kelly's in that film.
Well,
Gangs.
It was gangs and so forth.
It's a Walter Hill film, I believe.
It is a Walter Hill film, but it kind of was the same element where, you know, and we had these gangs running around. I was in Chicago at the time.
Yeah.
And there were these kind of gangs running around. They had masks on, and they would just go around and really beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah.
A few deaths, but I remember one of the first nights that film premiered, and there were a lot of people that were, I mean, they had gangs in the parking lots that would go out into the parking lot after the movie had just played and would go out and kind of start killing each other. Some guy would grab a baseball bat out of his... there was the baseball guys. You know, they'd all wear catcher's masks, and they'd go out and, you know, beat people up with bats.
That's pretty terrible.
It was amazing, but yeah, I got to say, The Purge...
We both recommend The Purge. It's a very good film.
For me, I think it was the best Purge of
okay,
all
so it was
the
your
Purges.
favorite. Okay.
You know, I like the Ethan
Which is
Hawke
rare
one.
for a prequel and a fourth film in a series.
I agree.
And I will probably get the second Purge now.
I don't think so.
We'll get at least one more.
No.
Because these movies make their money back easy.
But we'll just do a fourth Purge. We'll do the fifth Purge, rather.
Well,
It'll just be a new Purge, but it will kind of
I think it will continue from the prequel, though, because they finished...
I don't think so.
No, because at the end of the third Purge, the one before this one, they were ending the Purge. It was done.
Oh.
Yeah, so they're going to have to go back
it's coming
to
back.
Well,
you know it's coming back.
I think what
I don't think they can go into prequel area, you know, too long. That just doesn't.
Well, no, but they could do at least one more where it goes national for the first time. They could just focus on different cities.
Yeah.
They could go international, which could be interesting.
Yeah.
The Purge in Rio de Janeiro, or whatever.
No,
I
got you. I got you.
Anyway, let's move on to Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I mean, you know, George Lucas did it for 3 films, but you know, I don't think we want to go into prequelville.
No,
too
but
much.
you know, when there's money to be made, these studios have no backbone. Let's move on. Ant-Man and the Purge. We'll cover that real quick.
All right.
The sequel to the original Ant-Man. The newest of the Marvel films, which picks up right after the last Avengers, Infinity War.
Oh, does it? Yes, it does.
Yeah, honestly, I thought this was better than the first Ant-Man. I had a good time watching it.
I did too.
A lot of fun, a lot of crazy scenes. They really upped the ante with the action sequences.
I think so. I think it was good.
It was a lot of fun, and
it was
I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it was.
It did fall into that sludge kind of epitaph for me, that world of, you know, the whole Justice League films. There's how many Justice League films? Not Justice League, but Marvel films now.
Marvel?
How many are there?
Oh God, this was we've got to be approaching 20, right?
This is a Marvel film.
Yeah.
Correct? Yes. But so we have how many of them? Now, if I
I'd say close to 20 at least.
You think so?
I think so. We've done a lot. Well, really, it started 10 years ago.
But they just kind of fade into this big, giant, cesspoolian world. You know, I went into that sludge thing before when we were talking about, you know, how these films just go into your memory banks.
Yes, I know.
And the Ant-Man, you know, I thought it was a very well done film.
Very
Once again,
well done, very funny. Michael Pena was hilarious. It was
you know,
it was a lot of fun.
I'm going to make a comment about films today, though, and this is upsetting to me to some extent. Most of the films that we now see on our planet are movies that are like little mini roller coaster rides.
Yes.
Okay. While you're watching the film, it's a thrill a minute.
Yeah.
It's a thrill a minute. But when it comes to actually remembering, to recalling a film, like when you think of On the Waterfront, when you think of classic films, I mean, Silence of the Lambs, you think of the terror that you remember that vivid that impressed, that branded into your brain feeling of the knowledge of, no, not the experience, but the memory of the actual story.
Yeah, but I remember
there is
that's
no
all
story.
Part of that's part of watching a good film. You remember what you went through while you watched the film.
And that's the one thing about...
That's an experience for me.
And these films...
Blade Runner 2049 was an experience.
I love it.
I think we get a handful of those kind of movies every year. The rest are all this stuff that you're talking about.
Yeah, it's just...
eye candy,
brain
roller
fart,
coaster stuff.
Bubble gum for the brain.
The end of the year is when the real important films come out.
It is
the rest of the year is all the fun nonsense.
It is fun nonsense.
You know, and that's fine. I mean,
and
we
I
can't
shouldn't
expect
resent that.
To be
I shouldn't resent these films, but I do in a way, because they're, you know, they're the best way to usually see them is in an IMAX or you know, in an RPX kind of environment in a film theater, etc. And you know, you want to see it the best way you possibly can, but at the same time, you know, here I saw Ant-Man 3 weeks ago.
Yes.
It's been 3 weeks now.
It has been.
So I sat there this morning and I said to myself, okay, we're going to talk about Ant-Man tonight. Do I even remember what happened in that?
Yeah.
Well, I remember Paul Rudd flying around.
I didn't remember much from the first one because I only saw it once.
I know, me too. I mean, you remember Michael Douglas's character?
Yeah, of course, he was great.
You know, he makes a great impression, and they also
we have Michelle Pfeiffer in this one.
I know, they made them look young and took them back to 30 years ago.
Which is cool.
And so
I like
forth.
that.
I like that too.
Yeah, I mean, this movie is perfectly fun. It's well made. It's very entertaining.
Made for children.
It's definitely targeted towards kids.
In us all, if you will.
And these are the movies that the younger generation is growing up with, and they're going to remember them like we remember the big films of our youth.
Oh no, I do not believe that.
Yeah, these are the movies they grew up with.
When there's 4 or 5 Ant-Man films, when they're growing up, or 6 or 7 Ant-Man films, they're not going to remember them.
Yeah, they will.
They're going to remember the films that really impacted them.
No, but these movies are impactful to them because this is all they know about. These are the only movies they're going to see.
No, I disagree.
The average kid is only seeing maybe 5, 6, 7 movies. Like my stepson goes to the movies maybe 10 times a year. Okay. I see more movies in 2 weeks than he sees in a year.
Well, obviously.
You know?
I'm just saying that the actual, what remains with us in these films is very minimal.
Oh, I agree with you 100%.
Much there.
It takes a lot to make them imprint.
True,
it takes a lot to make
that
that
they are specifically for that reason.
Of it.
They're sheer entertainment, and there's nothing wrong with that.
That was a fun sequence, that
And I don't mean to be, I do like the fact that Ant-Man isn't just Ant-Man. He's Giant Man.
It's great.
He's everything. He can be everything, and he can switch.
It's a very creative and inventive movie.
It is a very creative. I agree.
There he is going subatomic.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Right. That was cool.
He
had to go chase and find Michelle Pfeiffer, who was living in the subatomic.
Which is Michael Douglas's wife and Evangeline Lilly's character, the Wasp, her mother.
Well, if you look closely at that photograph there, and not that the people that are watching us on YouTube, for example, can't see that, but it looks like a whole dust ball environment.
It kind of does, yeah.
You know, if we talk to Chris's dad,
my dad, yes,
who wrote a book on dust balls,
a kid's children's book,
book on dust balls. You know, I always wanted to be. You know, I said, please, Russ, write me in the next book as a Dyson vacuum cleaner, so I can destroy the
Daryl 6850.
The entire dust universe. I know exactly, but. You know something? I mean, there is great entertainment here.
It's very fun.
You know, a movie that I love growing up with. That I didn't grow up with it, but I saw it later on. The Incredible Shrinking Man.
Of course, yeah.
You know, I mean, some of these films that we saw, I just watched. But some of the films that we saw, the special effects meant something because they had never been done before. Now we take it for granted.
We do. It's all done in the
everybody's
computer
flying
now.
around. It's all digital. It's all computerized. It's all green screen. It's all bullshit.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything. It just exists. Only in my memories.
Yes.
As Gloria Stewart said in Titanic.
Titanic, yes.
And now he exists only in my memories.
But anyway, I think we can both say it's a fun film. It's definitely a theater film.
Bubblegum
But you can watch it at home and you'll be fine.
No, it's quite fun.
Entertaining.
And I will say this, I'm very fond of Paul Rudd.
He's great.
I just watched him recently in a film that he did, The Catcher Was a Spy.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that film. It was about a baseball catcher back in the 30s, and he just happened to be, he spoke about 8 languages.
Oh, okay,
and
cool.
So the government hires him
That sounds like a fun film.
It's not a fun film. He's actually sent to murder somebody.
Oh, okay.
To murder somebody who's creating. Oh, very serious.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh no, he's sent to murder somebody who's creating the bomb.
Oh, okay.
Hitler is trying to
so this is a 40s World War II film.
It's a 40s World War II
film.
film.
Because I hear Paul Rudd, and I thought it was a comedy.
No.
All right, great.
There is another film with him though, where he plays. He's part of a gay couple, which is
that sounds interesting.
Yeah, Inside Home or something like that. But anyway, regardless, I'm getting off on a tangent.
It's okay. We got to move on anyway.
We have a lot to say because we've been gone for 3 weeks.
But Ant-Man was fun.
Because of Chris's particular
well, no, we also weren't going to be here last week because of their Comic-Con.
Well, that's
the
true.
whole crew here was in
but we couldn't be there anyway, dude. You were still sick.
I wasn't feeling well.
You
Sorry.
weren't feeling well, dude.
Anyway, so we're going to do fun
right.
stuff. We're going to be basically covering a lot of films that are, you know, kind of like shoot-'em-up movies, action thrillers, where there's a lot of guns being used.
We've only got about 20 minutes to go,
Yeah.
so I think we can touch on these.
We're going to touch on these films. We've heard of them before.
Let me touch them.
Please do.
Oh, no.
But before we do that, I just want to do a quick thing. I have a surprise for you.
Oh, no.
This is a big surprise for you.
Really?
I've watched every episode of Twin Peaks, including the new version. I've watched it. I spent about a month and a half. I watched everything. Everything for you.
You're lying to me.
I swear to God, I watched everything. I even got the Showtime, the subscription just for a month just to watch season 3. I watched it all. I spent basically all of May and June watching all of Twin Peaks.
You're kidding me.
Yes, all of it.
God bless you.
Just for you.
Well, thank God.
And I loved every moment of it. It was incredible. The new season is so different than the original.
Oh my God!
It was incredible.
It's a
There's so much to say about it. It is so Lynchian.
Well, we'll do a whole show. We can do a whole show on that.
I just want to tell you, I love how Lynch gave himself a huge role in this sequel in the 3rd season.
Yeah.
I loved all the new characters. I loved the old characters. I loved.
Well, he had a huge role in Fire Walks with Me. Also,
he did.
Oh, you sent this
Michael
in.
Horse. I gave them all this stuff. Yeah.
That's why
I didn't know they were going to show it. I was trying to keep it a secret.
Sakes.
Yeah. I didn't know they were going to show
that is a big
I
surprise.
love that she plays Diane. That was awesome. We never got to see it. However, I do have a bone to pick with you. When you were telling me to just watch the new season, you don't need to see the original show because it's so different.
No, I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did.
How could you not watch the original season?
Well, of course.
This is everything from the original 2 seasons informs this. This is so much a part of the original show.
Did you watch Fire Walks with Me?
I saw that like 15 years ago.
Well, you need to watch it again because that's the bridge.
I know. I have to watch that again.
That's the end.
I just didn't have time.
That's the end result of the first season.
I know. I got to watch that. I'm gonna rewatch it because I only remember moments of it.
Well, it's very important that you do.
Yeah, I loved that he had a nice part here.
There we go.
And what's his name wasn't back. The arm wasn't back, but I love how they handled that. Where he's like, "Oh, this is my new form."
I know.
And he's a freaking tree with a brain on top.
I know. So
yeah, it was amazing. Michael J. Anderson, he didn't want to come back.
I'm blown away.
Yeah.
I know.
He didn't want to come back. I was so bummed.
Well, he's like 72 now. I don't know why he didn't want to.
I'm bummed that Harry retired. He didn't want to come back.
Well, I know.
But I liked Robert Forster as his brother. That was
great.
Cool.
Perfect.
You know, he was originally going to be in the original show.
He was in Mulholland Drive.
He was, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Robert Forster was going to be in the original Twin Peaks to begin with,
but
he couldn't get out of a contract.
Mr. Ferrer
But I'm so glad that he was in almost every episode, and he was able to do it before he died.
Absolutely. He literally died when the show actually aired.
Great.
He died right before.
James Belushi and his brother, the team up.
Oh my God, I can't believe you saw it.
It was amazing.
Shocked. But how about the character played by Kyle MacLachlan?
I know, he's amazing.
That great scene when they're arm wrestling.
Yeah, he breaks that guy.
phenomenal.
I met that guy. The arm that he breaks, that's Derek Mears. I met him.
Really?
I met him at Chilla Theater the first time I ever went to Chilla Theater in 2007.
We're getting way off track here. We're getting way off track.
But he's so good. He plays Dougie.
Yeah.
Which is a character that took me a while to grow on me. It took a little bit of time.
I'll tell you, if you watch the second season the second time, now Episode 8.
Incredible.
Episode 8 is
the nuclear explosion, then they have all the black and white.
It's like a black and white.
Yeah.
It's just a dream. It's like a Racerhead.
Incredible.
Part 15.
And those guys, you gotta light.
Oh, that guy. He like Abe Lincoln.
Yeah.
You gotta light.
It was so disturbing.
I loved it.
It was, and then that weird
wonderful
alternate world that he goes in with the girl with no eyes.
Yeah.
And they're looking into the window and you see Laura Palmer.
Amazing.
It's great. I mean, it's got.
And there's that horrible guy in the jail cell at the end. And every time she says something,
there she is.
and he repeats it.
Yeah.
Incredible. I'm so. I am proud of you that you watched.
I mean, I've been watching. You know how hard it was for me to not tell you that I've been watching Twin Peaks. There was a period of time when I wasn't watching anything but Twin Peaks, and Kim, my wife, was like, "Oh, are you going to go peeking tonight?" I said, "Yes, I'm peeking tonight."
Good for you.
3-4 episodes a night.
Well, thank God you did because this new season is spectacular.
It's incredible.
It is amazing.
I hope it comes back for more.
Oh my God, I hope so. But it took 5 years to create that.
I know.
And David is getting up there. He's like 73
he's in his
now.
70s.
You know, so I just hope to God that he can get it together and he and Mark Frost can write a whole new season and they can
It'd be great.
produce it. How'd you like a little, what's his name? He kind of plays the James Dean.
Michael Cera?
Yeah, Michael Cera.
He comes in for that weird scene. That was a weird
little scene. He's got the leather jacket. He's got the hat on. He's like James Dean or something. It was Marlon Brando more.
Kind of, yeah.
But it was like he's like a little pussy-ass Marlon Brando. It was hilarious.
I like that Billy's a cop now.
I loved it.
That's cool.
I really did. Yeah, Billy's a cop.
I will say, you know who I thought was completely wasted in the new season, though?
Who's that?
David Patrick Kelly. Just running around in the woods high on weed. That's all he was doing the whole season. That was kind of give him something a little better to do.
Well, David Patrick, of course, was in, you're also Russ Tamblyn. He was also the guy with the multicolored lenses.
Yeah, well, in the beginning, he's got the crazy conspiracy show.
He was in, remember, he was the bottle guy in The Warriors.
I know, I brought him up before. I know that, yeah.
There you
but
go.
I just thought he didn't have much to do in this new season.
Well, you know.
But still, it was good to see him.
Did you see, I forgot whether you saw that movie, Winchester. Did you see Winchester?
Yeah, we talked about it on the air.
You remember
he's the same kid that was in Change.
Same kid.
He runs over the boy in this episode, this season. Yeah.
And he's the kid that, remember, he goes on the mountaintop.
Yeah.
Kyle MacLachlan goes, go up
there. Go up there, yeah.
And all of a sudden,
boom. Yeah, exactly.
He just exploded. I loved it.
It was great.
I'm telling
you, Kyle MacLachlan was so evil in this show.
Oh, God.
He was so good.
Outrageous.
I love Jennifer Jason Leigh and Tim Roth.
How about that scene with the girl in the hotel room?
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, you know, and then suddenly he just puts the thing over, kabloom.
Brutal.
Blows her away.
Yeah. And then there's that weird scene in New York City with that box that kid is watching.
That was the first show.
The first episode,
That was the first episode.
And then things just suddenly appear once. There he is. There's Dougie. Naomi Watts was great.
Oh, my God.
Yep.
Naomi
and then he got
Dynamite.
Tom Sizemore. Everybody's in. Who isn't in this show?
I know.
Everybody's in it.
And the guy who played the boss, what was his name? He was in a movie called Bus Stop with Marilyn Monroe. His name is Don.
Oh, you mean the boss, the insurance boss?
Right.
Yeah.
Don,
he was good.
Something or other.
Yeah, I didn't get a picture of him.
Not Don.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Anyway,
I'm very glad you did.
We'll move on. But I just wanted to tell you that on the air. I've been waiting for weeks.
Well, good, man.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed. I'm very proud. Very happy you watched it.
Me too, dude. I loved it.
I just said at the beginning of today's show, you know, here he is, Chris. He'll never watch. He'll never get to see it.
I was so thrown off when they accidentally put that photo on. I'm like, don't worry about that. Yeah. I deliberately didn't put it on here because I was afraid you'd look at this and say, Twin Peaks, why is this on here? I gave them a different version of this that had tweaks.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a good idea. Adam just said we should do an all Twin Peaks episode of my ear.
Possibly so.
We could do that. That's fine.
I don't know.
Or a whole Lynch episode. Why not?
Well, that's easy to do.
That's great.
How did you like the final scream? There's a scream.
Yeah. Oh, at the end of it. Yeah. Well, it's Laura Palmer screaming.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was horrifying.
And of course now,
I wanted more from the ending. By the way,
that's
I wanted a little more.
Well, I did love the last 2 episodes.
It was great.
They kind of
it was tight things up.
Even the second to last episode, episode 16.
Yeah.
It kind of resolves everything.
It does.
And then finally, he wants to go back and.
Then it's almost like an epilogue. The last episode, in a way.
Kind of in a way, but then we get a whole new character in there, and that's that girl at the. You remember she goes to the diner, and the girl says, "No, she's not here today. He goes to the house.
Yeah,
and that's the alternate Laura Palmer.
Yeah, it's
and that's who he wants to. He says that's something worth pursuing.
Yes,
that's what he wanted to write about. One of the great things about I know you didn't see the. You saw the Showtime? You got Showtime to watch specifically?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing.
Well, on the discs, there is approximately 17 little hour episodes on the making of each thing.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I'd like to watch that.
Oh, my God.
That's great. I almost bought the disc.
Those.
I'm like, I don't want to buy it just yet.
$50. It's worth every dime. It's worth every dime because you will go back to that. And
but
I tell you,
I just maybe one day I'll buy it.
I just adored it so much.
It's great.
I really did. I'm going to go back and watch it a third time.
You should.
I will because it just is pure Lynchy. I love the girl crawling out of the the trailer the trailer house. The trailer park house.
Oh, after what's his name beats her up.
He beats her up and she comes out
of the woods.
I love it. I love it.
Harry Dean Stanton.
Stanton's in it.
It was
everybody.
Great.
It's awesome.
All right, let's move on real quick.
Kyle really deserves an.
He should get a nomination for an Emmy. I don't know if he did.
Get an Academy Award for the 3 roles that he played.
He was great.
And in fact, many times during the shooting, like whenever they would retire one character, it didn't matter who it was. It might have been Cheryl
in the credits. They say in honor of whatever.
Well, no. When I say retire, I mean that the character, like when Dale Cooper does his last performance as Dale Cooper. When Kyle does his last Dale Cooper. Now, he got 3 ovations.
He did.
What they would do is they would, like when Naomi Watts was done shooting, okay, everybody, gather around, and David would sit there with his hat on, and he's got his little binocular kind of a thing that he like a loop that he looks through just as his his monocle to look at a shot, etc. But And he would have everybody come gather around, and he'd say, "Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dale Cooper's last show today," and then everybody.
That's great. He's a national treasure, David Lynch.
Guy,
I love him.
I'll tell you something. He has a heart of gold.
He's great. He's awesome.
So comes out in the making of the
I definitely want to watch that.
It's almost 17 hours or so
behind the scenes.
Of behind the scenes footage.
Awesome.
It's just as good. Just how he comes up with stuff. It's
amazing. Yeah.
Mind-blowing how I'm such a huge fan.
Me too.
I truly am. I just worship and adore
Me too. It's a better world with him in it.
Absolutely.
We'll move on real quick. I mean, we're not going to be able to touch on this because I did do the Twin Peaks interruption, but I thought it was important.
Right. No, I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did.
So we're just going to cover some films.
I wish you would have done it on like next week's show. It would have been better because we have a lot of stuff to cover.
But every week we're going to have something to cover here.
No, not as much.
That's why I was trying to deter a little bit from this because I knew I wanted to do the Twin Peaks
but
thing.
Next week we'll only have
Mission Impossible.
We had 4 shows. We had 5 movies this week.
I know.
Because
I just couldn't wait. I couldn't wait.
So, okay, well, I'm glad you did watch.
So, honestly, people have seen all these movies, so we're just going to touch on some action movies that have, the gun is central to the film.
The gun is central.
Things like the 2 John Wick films.
Violent and
super violent films. Super incredible action sequences.
John Wick is a ballet,
It is. Both of those films are.
Correct.
Yeah, they're incredible.
Correct. Absolutely.
They've kind of reinvented the
Matrix,
action genre.
The Matrix
films
almost started that.
Kind of did.
That ballet
I agree.
thing. Of course, everyone's flying through the air in the Matrix and so forth.
Yeah, we should have put that in here.
Absolute, but
and then there's Taken, obviously, with Liam Neeson that had a lot of that, a lot of brutal takedowns, a lot of close range shooting, blowing people's heads off, that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
It's a lot of fun.
And of course, we had the great storyline there in Taken.
Yeah,
His daughter is taken off into
a
a sex slave community in in Europe. And so I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
We had that great Liam Neeson.
It was awesome.
And
that was
the
birth of the almost senior citizen action star. Which is now everybody. You got all these other actors now coming in with their older action film.
I don't think of him as a senior citizen.
No, but older, past the. He's in his 50s, 60s.
He's not in James Bond territory.
But he does the part well. He did a great job.
Absolutely.
I still haven't seen the third one.
Really?
Third take. I never got a chance to see it.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it.
It's okay. Maggie Grace is in it.
Yeah, I know. Forrest Whitaker's in it.
I believe, what's her name? Famke Jensen? Is she still his wife in that?
Well, no, I think the whole story is because she's dead. She's found dead in that one in the beginning, right?
Is she? I think
that's
possibly
the story.
So there's the revenge factor
exactly.
there. But
and then we have
that is the case.
Another movie based on a
she's
lot
being held hostage, actually.
She is.
Yeah.
Well, but I think she dies, doesn't she? Are they blaming him for the murder? Isn't that what it is? He was framed?
It's hard to remember.
It doesn't matter. Then we have Wanted with Angelina Jolie and James McAvoy.
Great little film. That was a great little gun movie.
I'll be honest, I don't love that film.
I don't love it
either. It has some good scenes.
Yeah,
very cinematic.
Well, Angelina is stunning as always.
Rail thin in this film, too.
I did go back and watch, believe it or not, I watched both of the Tomb Raider films that she was in. Right after I got the
newest one with Alicia Vikander.
Alicia Vikander. I love the Alicia Vikander.
Me too.
But I did go back and watch, and those were in crucial times of my life. My wife was getting her kidney pancreas transplant.
Oh, yes.
So my brain was elsewhere. So I saw these films at the theater. They went right by me. I didn't even see them. I didn't feel them. Both discs came out, Tomb Raider and The Cradle of Life, came out on 4K. I got them both.
Must look great.
Got them both, and I watched them both, and they were fun. I thought Angelina was great.
I thought she did a great job. They're entertaining.
Yeah, they're entertaining.
Films.
They're not.
I thought
wonderful.
The newest one was better.
The new one is more gritty,
more real.
It's a gritty, down to earth. Alicia is.
She's fantastic.
Yeah, she's fantastic. She truly is. Angelina is more James Bond. She's a female James Bond in this, and they're shot like James Bond films too, with big special effects and big production numbers and scenes and shootouts, etc. But so forth and so on. There you go.
Another classic shoot 'em up film is Shoot 'em Up.
Shoot 'em Up.
Clive Owen.
I love that
Paul
film.
Giamatti.
The beautiful Monica Bellucci.
That film was insane.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love
so much crazy action.
It is
in that
crazy.
Movie.
There's some great stuff. I love.
Somebody gets killed with a carrot in that movie.
Do they?
Yeah, somebody gets killed with a carrot in this movie.
I like the scene when they're falling and they're falling on top of a car.
Yeah, and he's shooting while they're falling.
No, he shoots out the sunroof.
Yes, so they go into the car. That's right.
They could fall into the car.
Yeah.
It was so good.
It's so over the top. Yeah, it's a fun guilty pleasure.
It is a fun guilty pleasure. It's not a serious film by any means. It's just a gun film.
It is.
It's just kill this, kill that, kill them.
1,000 bullets.
They will all die. 1,000 bullets.
Yeah.
And we must talk about John Woo, a film you did not see. Nazi, and no offense to white supremacists, but a film you did not see.
The Killer.
Is The Killer.
Well, you know, I tried to watch it this morning.
Film. Oh, really?
It's not available anywhere to watch on streaming online.
Okay.
There was a version I started watching on YouTube.
I have the actual DVD.
I know, I didn't have time to do it. Until I realized
it was Criterion.
I know. I even went so far as to look on filmstruck.com, which is a streaming site that specializes in Criterion films. They don't have The Killer.
Oh, wow.
So the version I found on YouTube was all in German. I'm like, that sucks. But I watched a compilation of all the action scenes. Oh, so I've seen all the violence.
Oh, wow.
That
all
Killer,
these guys
incredible.
in white shirts. They're all in white
shirts at the end, yeah.
They're all just running in. Pow, pow,
I couldn't believe how many people are getting blown away every 4 seconds.
Shot. I mean, it's just a death.
John Woo is a ballet action master.
Absolutely
master.
True.
And then Hard Boiled.
Spectacular.
I mean, that whole scene at the end in the hospital.
Well, he's on the gurney and he's flying.
You know,
that was great.
There's over 2.5 minutes of that last scene that's all one take.
I'm not.
Do you know how much choreography that takes?
Well, look at John Wick though.
John Wick too.
I mean, you had the same thing.
Not John Wick also. I mean,
also like when he's running through the bar shooting all these people.
Yeah, but a lot of that was done in John Woo's The Killer and Hard Boiled are amazing. We do have the posters somewhere on here.
Do we? Okay.
I did provide them.
All right. Cool.
But yeah, those movies are crazy too.
There you go.
And then there's Man on Fire, which is awesome.
Man on Fire. I would like
Denzel.
to. I would like to do Payback.
Payback.
There are two different versions.
There are. Yeah, with Mel Gibson.
1990s films.
Brian Helgeland directed that film, wrote that
precisely.
film. Yeah.
Great film.
There's Man on Fire with Tony Scott.
I like the grittiness of Payback.
Yeah.
He gets kind of blown away at the beginning. It's almost like a remake of High Plains Drifter.
Yeah.
High Plains Drifter. Clint Eastwood is like killed.
There it is, Payback. Yeah, great. I love that film.
They kill him. They shoot him like 100 times, etc., and then they hang him. And
he's a mess at the end of that movie.
Right. But he comes back and gets his revenge on everybody. And I'll tell you, Mel Gibson, there was nobody better than Mel. I mean, he had just done, Braveheart, and
he did Braveheart. He just did the Last Lethal Weapon.
And he directed one of my favorite films ever.
I know,
Apocalypto.
Yes, it's a great film. It's a masterpiece.
That film. Oh my God.
Yeah. I always love Mel Gibson. He's great.
Me too. You know, I just wish he...
Take away the personal stuff, he's a great presence on screen.
That they were taping him in that car, and he had to say those expletives
terrible things,
were not necessary, and they kind of destroyed his career to some extent.
Really?
But,
to a big extent.
He's still a great director. You cannot take away... Like Woody Allen went through years and years of, being a child... pedophile because he married his daughter.
Weird.
Basically.
Stepdaughter, yeah.
But he really was in love with his daughter.
I know he was. And she probably loved him. So
no, they are still together.
Yeah.
And you can see there was a documentary they made of them walking through Europe, going through museums and stuff, and Woody is like lost without her. She's just so good and wonderful, and there's great love between them.
That's good that they're still together.
Absolutely.
Another great movie that's almost a ballet of action is Desperado. Robert Rodriguez, 1995.
Yeah.
His first studio film after El Mariachi.
I agree.
I love Desperado.
I love El Mariachi.
It's so much
and I love Desperado.
Yeah, great stuff.
Absolutely.
This film has some amazing action scenes.
No, Antonio is
when he
fantastic.
blows away those guys in the bar and they go flying onto the antlers on the wall.
Didn't care about the kind of sequel to that.
Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
With Johnny
Forget
Depp.
about it. It was okay. Nice try. But
Johnny Depp only did like a week of shooting on that, and yet they use him through the whole film.
I know. He's like a loose cannon in that movie.
He is like a loose cannon.
I
didn't love it. He's also blind, I believe.
He's got some. He's blind.
Visual deal going on, but I didn't love the film. But Desperado, a beautiful looking film.
So much fun.
Selma Hayek is looking fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. That was her big break into American cinema.
Yeah, that kind of her big nude scene there kind of made her
an
international.
The sex scene with all the candles or whatever.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Another great action.
Stuff. Robert Rodriguez, I
love him.
I love him so much. I truly do.
Sin City, he did
Sin
obviously.
City, of course, and my favorite, Planet Terror. I love that
Planet Terror is a fun film. Part of the Grindhouse. Yeah.
It's almost worth a mention here.
Yeah, I know.
But
that was really violent.
That's more of a zombie film.
It is. Another great one was True Romance. Quentin Tarantino wrote it, directed by Tony Scott.
I know.
Love True Romance. Some of the best dialogue you'll see in a movie.
Absolutely.
A lot of fun action scenes. That whole ending shooting in the hotel is great.
Well, we have the Mexican standoff,
which is
Reservoir
trademark.
Dogs.
Exactly.
And we have the same thing there with James Gandolfini.
And this is a huge cast of tons of supporting actors.
Really? Yeah.
I love True Romance. It's a great film. I love Tony Scott.
Patricia Arquette.
I miss Tony Scott's films. He did Man on Fire, which we briefly mentioned before.
He had such a beautiful. He took the Ridley Scott look of a film.
Yeah.
and he didn't have the depth usually of Ridley's films,
but he had
and the intricacy, but he just had that visual
style.
You know, they were both did commercials before they made feature films
together,
right, and you could really see that the eye, the look, True Romance, so beautifully shot.
It's beautiful, gorgeous.
He's got that Danny, you know the guy, director, Danny Boyle.
Danny Boyle,
He's got Danny Boyle's sense of color and there's like a soft edge over it. A lot of slow motion in Tony Scott's films. Anyway, I think we're about done.
Almost done. Then I just want to mention a couple classics in this genre of ultra-violence. Paul Verhoeven's RoboCop. I mean, one of the most violent films ever made.
The unrated
still
version
holds up.
It still does.
Incredible RoboCop.
Yep.
I love RoboCop.
Absolutely.
There's another remake or sequel coming out soon.
I'd like to tell a brief story, if I may.
And then Terminator 1 and 2, obviously.
Of course.
We covered them all.
Brief story. Peter Weller was coming on. I used to be a limo driver for a very short amount of time. Peter Weller came off a flight, same flight that Mother Teresa came off of.
Interesting.
I saw Mother Teresa at JFK in a United terminal over there. Amazing. All these little nuns gathered around her, and we're just like, oh! She was this radiant being. But, okay, that's another story. Peter Weller comes up, and he stands there, and all these drivers are standing over there. And so he says, anybody from Hurley here? Right? So I now realize, hey, that's Peter Weller, for God's sakes. So I take one of my signs that I had from my limo company, and I write RoboCop on the sign. So while Peter is standing there looking at all these drivers, I'm standing behind Peter showing RoboCop to all the drivers. They all see the sign that says RoboCop as I'm standing behind Peter Weller. He can't see me. And they're all going, yeah, that's RoboCop. I saw like 25 guys
that's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's RoboCop. Then Peter Weller turns around and goes, what are you doing? He looks at me. So we ended up walking around for like 10 minutes just shooting the shit.
That's pretty cool.
It was great.
Yeah.
He said,
but it wasn't your ride.
No. He says, why don't you drive me?
Yeah.
Because I said, because he sees me showing a RoboCop to all the drivers, and he thought it was hilarious.
You were probably picking up some schmuck.
Believe it or not, he was with Barbara Streisand at the time.
They were dating?
Yeah, he had just come from. Yeah, he and Barbara were a couple.
I didn't know that.
For quite some time.
Wow.
Yeah,
I love Peter Weller.
He was coming back from. Yeah, he was in your favorite that Labyrinth film, wasn't he?
Labyrinth.
Was he in that?
No, that's David Bowie.
Leviathan.
Leviathan, he's in.
Was in
I love Leviathan.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he's in that. He's great.
No, Labyrinth is David Bowie.
Yes.
No, I was thinking of Leviathan.
But,
okay, well.
Cool. Well, that's our show, guys.
That's our show, guys.
We flew through those movies.
Done. We've done it.
We'll see you next time. We'll be discussing the new Mission Impossible, obviously.
I was frenetic today. I was frenetic. And
we were keeping the guys in the switching room on their feet.
I know, we really did.
Movie rep. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for keeping up with our madness.
I'm telling you, very much so.
Great job
You guys did a great job just showing those little posters.
But
nobody
sometimes
sees those,
that's what it's like.
Except the guys there on
They're the
online,
unsung heroes.
But, very true
indeed.
But
we'll see you guys next week.
Absolutely. Another great show.
Have a great week, everybody.
There you go.
Road. Yeah, we're going now. Yeah, let's just